5 tropes that I hate. I really can't say I hate them. I'm not a big hater of things, but they are 5 tropes that I just am really bored by, and I think need either be reimagined or removed altogether. The first one is not one you see a lot, but it's elves. Like, I know a lot of people dislike the fantasy races now, like in general, like elves and dwarves and orcs and goblins. I really just hate the elves. I find them super boring. I know lots of people like them, but I really can't stand them. I can't think of like an elvish character I really liked. I mean, there's Legolas, which is fine, but that's Tolkien, so it's kind of different. And then you have like dark elves, like Drist. He's pretty cool. But there's not a lot of like pure elven characters that I like that were raised by elves. There's some that weren't raised by elves that are pretty fine most of the time. Like some of the books in the Pathfinder series deal with a half-elf, and he's fine, and there's some other ones. But overall, I hate elves. They're boring, they're blonde, they're dumb. Not that I have a problem with blonde people. It's just, I hate them. I hate that idea of, like, the perfect race, you know? It's boring. Moving on to number 2. That's gonna be, I hate princes and farmers. A lot of fantasy stories, they start off with, like, a prince or a princess who need to save the kingdom, or, like, a poor farm boy, and I don't like it. It's overdone, and generally they feel kind of the same. Maybe not the same personality, but the beginnings are kind of like, we have to go through this again. And I don't want to go through that again. I want something fresher. Like, oh, there's one book, like The Baker's Boy, I think. Like, make your character something other than a farmer or a prince. Like, a prince's guard. Like the son of a baron. Like a baker. Somebody runs an orchard even. Usually the farmers are like sheep farmers. That's pretty common. Or just live on a farm. And it's kind of... I mean, I can think of a few that were just sheep farmers, so I think that might be the real cliche. But we can do lots of different stuff. Bankers or tax collectors. That needs to happen. A book about a tax collector. That's not a villain. Number 3 is pretty simple and probably won't take very long, and that's just characters who are evil for evil's sake. That's been done to death. That is just boring. I'm tired of characters who are just mean for like no reason. Like the school bully is kind of boring to me. Sometimes it's done right, other times it's just, I don't care. They're not interesting. You know who's a great bully? Sadeas from Way of Kings. He is a bully. He is a prick. But he's a great character. You just want to see him more often. Because you're like, that fucker. And Dolores Umbridge. Dolores Umbridge is not evil for evil's sake, but she's so fucking evil. She's worse than fucking Voldemort. I fucking hate that bitch. But she's a really good character. But she wasn't evil for evil's sake. She was like a nasty person. But she had goals, even though they were bad goals. They weren't just like evil. She was corrupt and wicked, but she wasn't just, I'm going to sit here and torture a puppy or kitten kind of evil. Number 4 is another one that doesn't take very long to explain, and that's, I really hate love triangles. And when I say this, I really hate like the love triangles that are generally common in like more YA fantasy. You get some interesting love triangles. Like I think the love triangle in Stormlight Archives between Shallan, Adolin, and Kaladin was pretty interesting, but mostly because it wasn't really there. There was kind of like flirty moments between Kaladin and Shallan, but there was never a I think they're gonna get together. I never felt like they were actually gonna get together. There was some flirting. I was like, ooh. I thought maybe that it would ruin her relationship with Adolin, but I did never thought they would actually get together. So I like that. But like Hunger Games, boring. Twilight was god awful. I didn't read the books, but I've seen the movies. That was torturous enough. I don't want to read the books. But it's another thing that I just don't like. It's kind of boring. And yeah, it's just boring. I'm sick of it. It's something else. Make it 4. That'd be interesting, maybe. Or at least make it a harder, I don't know, maybe not a harder choice, but more reason to them. Says, oh, he's cute. Oh, she's cute. Which one's cuter? I need to pick that one. I don't like that. That's then number 5, the very last one, is easily defined races, or people in general. Like, you see it a lot. Elves are this way. Dwarves tend to be this way. Orcs are almost always this way. Like, orcs are just evil. They're cruel and ugly, and that's it. And everyone thinks they're cruel and ugly. Which I'm fine. I'm fine with, like, characters who... I'm fine with there being bigotry in books, and there being prejudice, and there being, like, stereotypes, because people do that in general. It's a bad thing that we do it, but almost everyone does it. It's just a part of the human culture. We want to easily define things and separate them into boxes. That's just kind of how our minds work. So I'm fine with that, but when it's actually true, it's boring. Like orcs in Lord of the Rings. They're all just evil and boring. That's it. We need more characters that are evil, like Gollum. He's pretty cool. But the dwarves, they're easily defined. And it's sad. Like, you never see a Dwarf Barred in any, like, as far as I'm aware, you never see anything like a Dwarf Barred in the Dragonlance series. At least one that I have come across, they're always like rangers or clerics, maybe a paladin or two. That's always what they find into. They're always blacksmiths, but that's boring. Elves definitely fit into this. Fucking hate elves so fucking much. Just hate them. But that's it. Like, I like when the races seem genuine. Like going back to the part, like going back to the Brandon Sanderson's Stormlight Archives, the Parshendi feel real because you do get some perspective from them, and they have their own belief systems, like the allele from Wheel of Time, from the Wheel of Time, the allele from the Wheel of Time. They are human, but they're very separate from the rest of the world, and they feel real. They're bizarre, but they feel real, and it's interesting. So you can do it. That's it. The Trollocs, though, no, not them. They're just the same. They're boring. Basically wild animals that can kind of think. So, that's that. They're just not interesting. This video sucks. I need to maybe do something about that. I'm just not fully recovered yet. I'm very tired. Super tired. And that's it. I'm done. Goodbye.